J. Sessions, World War II vet from the European Theater of Operations, with a bunch of stuff I tried to get back from the war. Got a few medals. And
what is the medals?
I've been on a flight on May 12th this year, went to Washington, D.C. World War Memorial, Capitol Building. Okay. I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, 1922, December 22. I get it right yet. I left there in 1943, went to Camp Barkley, Texas, took my basic training, went from Camp Barkley to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, took advanced medical training, became a hospital corpsman with the 217 General Hospital. Left there in 1943 for Eastern Coast, went to Boston, took all our shots to get to go overseas. Finally left Boston on February 28, 1944. And February, troop ship with a bucket of bolts. We almost didn't make it, but we made it across when we got to Scotland. Came out in the New York City Times. 250 ships crossed the Atlantic Ocean, largest convoy ever deployed from any nation. Landed in a little harbor in Scotland. Had to sit there, and I was so seasick I couldn't walk. And I finally got down we took a train down into England, stationed in England, Swindon, at the General Hospital, taking care of the wounded from battlefields. We were in Swindon for 5 months, I believe. Used to go to London on leave, and Hitler was sending his V-2 rockets over London at that time. Real weird rockets that had so much fuel they cut off and dropped and blew up. And after being in England, D-Day, June 6, 1944, took us on the ships, took us down the coast to the beaches of Utah. We left, landed on D-Day, Omaha Beach. I landed on Utah Beach, with Gold Beach and Omaha Beach. Went into France, went into Paris, set up the General Hospital, 217 General. Was there almost 5-6 months, and with the Battle of the Bulge, they needed volunteers to replace the troops that were lost during that time. I volunteered and went in the replacement pool, was shipped up to Germany, joined the 14th Armored Division, went into battle. I was a combat medic. Used to pick up the wounded and dead. I was there for 4 or 5 months to the end of the war in 1944. 45, I'm sorry. Went up to Hitler's Eagle Nest, saw that. Got a little souvenir from there, if you want me to show that. This is a ring off of Hitler's coffee urn in his kitchen that I took without permission. And it was loose, so I just kept it. Took pictures to prove it. That was double picture here that showed me with it. Okay. Finally, we finally got the ship back to the United States. I can't even remember the town I was born in. Had some point blank German tank fire shooting, blew up. I caught a little piece of shrapnel on my left leg. Wasn't nothing much serious. Took care of the wounded before I had been treated, and my dad was in World War I, and he was shot through the left lung real bad, and he was a sergeant in infantry. His squad was sent to clean up a German machine gun nests. He was shot through the left lung, and he was then shipped back to the United States, Fort Riley, Kansas, where my mother was a World War II nurse. And she met my dad and take care of him and healed him, and they must have fell in love, and then they hitched up and had us 3 kids. I have 2 brothers. My older brother was in the Pacific. My younger brother was in Korea. So we have a military family somewhat. Okay, so one of my souvenirs is a 50 caliber machine gun armored piercing, which my father was shot with. This is a 32 millimeter ACAC shooting down planes up in the ships and stuff. I came back with several souvenirs, but most of them were stolen. I only have these 2, a German officer's swastika and a private swastika they wore on their uniforms. I was awarded the Purple Heart on March 7th, 1945 in France. As I said before, I entered the service from Salt Lake City, Utah. My father died in 1947. He was only 53 years old. Got TB in his lungs. Passed away. This is a bayonet that was my brother brought back that he used on the end of his rifle in Japan that I managed to keep. The Bronze Star they finally awarded me for above and beyond the call of duty. And still got my dog tag, which I don't think I'll use again.
so everybody can see. I'll look like that.
Can't see it, Forrest, gotta hold it up higher
There you go.
and tilt it more
There,
down,
that's
yeah,
it.
where people can see it.
I've awarded these medals for being wounded in combat, and Purple Heart and the Bronze Star is for exceptional duty beyond the call, regular duty. I followed Patton during the battle in the Third Army. And can't remember what. Ready? In battle, we're a Red Cross armband, and we had a big Red Cross flag we used on the Jeep to go pick up the wounded. And we got to where we took them off because it made a good target for the Germans to shoot at. So we took them off. Run like hell.
Yeah.
Okay. I signed up to go on an honor flight that they give for World War II veterans, take them to Washington, D.C., to see the national monument that they put up for us. I waited 2 years and finally I got on a trip on May 12th. Flew out of Phoenix to Washington. Well, we flew to Baltimore, then we went to Washington, down to the Capitol, the Memorial,
Arlington.
the military graveyard, watched the changing of the guard, and I shook about 300 or 400 fences. Out of 28 guys that went on that trip, I was the only one in uniform. The other guys were a little overweight, they couldn't get into them. I've been slim all my life, thank the Lord. We had a wonderful time. I recommend it for anybody, any few of the World War II guys that are left. Should go on it, sign up for it. They give you a wonderful trip. I received a couple of flags. I bought a flag and flew it over Fort McHenry while I was down there. I have a flag that was flown over the memorial in Pearl Harbor in Hawaii for the Arizona Memorial. And one other flag that was flown on the USS Carrier Voigt, I think. I can't remember the name of the carrier. And came back, was real happy with it. Thanked the people and they want me to try and help with whatever I can do to talk to children, classes, or meetings, or wherever they want me to go. I try to show what I have, which isn't that much.
Okay.
When we came back from the trip, we landed at Phoenix Harbor Airport, and 28 of us. I was the only one in uniform, and my son was there to greet me, and he had talked to a photographer from Channel 10. He wanted to do a interview with me, so when he seen me coming out, he come over and took a picture of me, and I don't even remember what I said. I thanked him for being able to go on the trip, I guess, and then after that, I was on TV. Also, I went to a Diamondback ball game by some dear friends of mine, and all of a sudden, my like my face showed up on the big screen. And I said, what's going on here? Channel 10 came over with a young lady and a cameraman and interviewed me. Where I think it was not Memorial Day, it was Veterans Day doing somehow. So I guess that's why I was I didn't know her, I would have worn my uniform. And we won the ball game anyway. Like maybe I helped holler. I know Rick did. Okay, after coming back on our flight, I was honored to meet Rick Tolliver, where I go to church, the Apollo Church, Baptist Church,
Yes.
Cactus. And very lovely church. Thank God for bringing me home safely. I am a Christian, and I did 4 sessions, as I said before. At about 92 years old, I made it. Heading for 93 in December 2nd. I hope to make that. So, go ahead.
Recording.
Okay, I say God bless the boys that are over there fighting, risking their lives and keep our country free. And more companies should appreciate the boys, and for little of nothing, 10% should be given from the companies to the veterans, as far as I'm concerned. They've more than earned it. There's only 2 people that ever offered to die for you. One was a Jesus Christ, and the other was a veteran. So, God bless America.